This is kind of a question of the statement, because I understand that the public may look at this one a little bit differently. But it's important to note that your, or it's a question, but I think I know this process well enough to know, your recommendation is based on what happened from the point the fight ended to the point that Charbez pulled Mr. McGregor back into the cage.
That is correct, Chairman.
That's the context of the unsportsmanlike conduct.
That is correct, Chairman. That wasn't fair.
Do we have jurisdiction over what happened in New York City?
No.
We do not.
We do not.
Correct. Okay. And we don't really, that I'm aware of, although I don't agree with it, and I certainly don't like it, but the promotion itself and the language that is used, that is continuing to escalate year in and year out, while I don't like it, none of these settlement agreements take into account verbal statements made by parties to one another.
The proposed settlement agreements are specific to the conduct that happened at 229.
And are you aware, or maybe Executive Director Bennett, I'll ask you second, but are you aware of any time this commission has taken an action against an unarmed combatant in either boxing, MMA, or any other unarmed combat sport as it pertains to what they have said versus what they have done?
I am not personally aware, no, Chairman.
Executive Director Bennett.
Chairman, no, I'm not aware of any, but I certainly think it's gotten to the point with some of the unarmed combatants where it's become totally unacceptable. There's not any other athletes that I'm aware of that have spoken in various press conferences in the way Mr. McGregor has. So although we have no precedence for it, I think it's something that we should look to in the future, and we should rein it in. His press conference at the Radio City Music Hall was obviously under the jurisdiction of the New York Athletic Commission. The one that took place here, his language was much cleaner, and I didn't see any reason to add that to the settlement agreement. But I definitely think unequivocally that that's something we need to be take a more active role in and hold fighters accountable for their language.
Okay, so in saying that, I think it's important to note that what you're recommending here is what I just stated. It is from the point the fight was over until what happened on top of the octagon, where he took a swing. And while I think we would all concur that the verbal part of the promotion, in my opinion, has gotten so out of line, it's embarrassing. But it would not be appropriate to insert that at this time, I think, until the commission gave some sort of guidance and/or warning and/or reg altercation that the fighters are now officially on notice, published through, the Nevada Athletic Commission regulation. It would be out of left field, I think, to just come in and insert that in at will, refer to that as maybe being arbitrary and capricious. I agree that we all don't like it. We'll table that for another time, where I think that we should take a look at how we want to address that. But I just think it's important for the public to note, as well as anybody else who's watching, that your recommendation is based on that 30 to 40 seconds, and the other stuff is either not in our jurisdiction or would break a lot of precedent and without notice that we're going to start fighting and or suspending for what you say versus what you do. So I think it's just important to get that on the record so it's well understood. So anything else for the Attorney General? Mr. Mersch.
On behalf of Mr. McGregor, we are in concurrence with Mr. Detmer's recitation of the facts as are contained in the proposed settlement agreement, and don't have anything additional to add with respect to that. And I would applaud the Commission's, caution that they're exercising and not getting too far ahead of into areas where they haven't been perhaps adjudicated in the past. But I welcome and I look forward to participating if the Commission is indeed looking forward to getting any new regulations perhaps or other direction on some of those other areas that you addressed, Mr. Chairman. But with respect to the matter that is presently before you today, Mr. McGregor supports and agrees with the Attorney General's recitation of the facts in the proposed order.